in 2024, I had a contractor, a tradesman come over. He was from Mildura. One of my congregants, he was doing some work in the area and I needed something to be done, and he invited him to come in. And this is a guy who, no connection with Jewish people. And I just felt at that moment to ask him, has he been watching the news? What does he think of the current conflict in the Middle East? And he said to me something which really shocked me, but it made me realize how deeply spread this propaganda is. Because he said, look, I don't know many Jews, but I'm surprised that Jews are baby killers now. When I heard those words from a guy who's totally sort of disconnected from, doesn't live in the Jewish community, doesn't live in an area, has no sort of interaction really with many Jews, but this is what he's hearing. And so I said, and I spent time sort of trying to explain that that's not the case. But online, anytime I post anything, and I keep it, positive and reassuring, and I always leave with a message of hope and wanting to build social cohesion and trying to make this country a better place. But the comments, in particular about Zionism and how Zionists should feel unsafe and uncomfortable wherever they go, genocide is your legacy.
In your posts, when you, I think, referred to it as supportive statements about Zionism, what is your meaning that you attach to Zionism, or your understanding of the term?
So I usually explain on these posts. It would probably be, sort of commentary on maybe something that's happened, when, let's say, during the time when there were still hostages in Gaza. So I would sort of express, let's pray for the safe return of the hostages. We should gather together and we should, be thinking about them. Maybe it was before Passover, and reflecting we're going to enjoy our Passover feast together, but there's many who are, still in captivity. And then the comments would come in, well, you're committing genocide and you're a Zionist and you're evil, when I'm just trying to express a view. Or for example, when I actually went shortly after October 7th, a few months later, to Israel to visit, the families who would be bereaved. I went to go visit people in hospital, and when we came back, I wrote an op-ed in the Jewish News, and the picture was our small group, and we had an Israeli flag and an Australian flag, and one of the participants went to Officeworks to go and laminate it because he wanted to remember it, and he was refused service by the person at Officeworks. They said they don't feel in good conscience that they could touch that photo and deal with that photo. And of course a big storm, as you can imagine, but it was again reinforcing this narrative that if you have anything to do with Israel and the lies told about Israel, it was spreading far and wide. Here's an Officeworks employee refusing to do business to laminate an article written by myself about our time in Israel. So these comments were often on these posts.